My name is Wilson Lamb, and we're going to be talking about the unemployment rate in the United States, and more specifically about the African American or Black unemployment rate in the United States. So first of all, what is unemployment? Unemployment is a negative effect of the economy not being fully efficient. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the national average for the United States right now is about 4.1 as of March 2018. And of those numbers, they've changed a lot ever since the recession in 2008. And in 2010 was when the employment rate kind of peaked. So for the blacks, in 2010, the unemployment rate was 17%, which is the most out of everybody. And in 2018, it dropped down to about 6.6 as of April. And in 2010, the whites, their unemployment rate was about 9, so it was about half of what the blacks were unemployed. And in 2018, that number is still about half, it's about 3.6. So the numbers are continually going down, but the difference in between the blacks and whites unemployment rate is still about the same, which is kind of interesting. And even for women, which is probably the second most discriminated part of the US, in 2010 their unemployment rate was about 8.6, which is a little less than just whites in general, but it's still a huge number. And in 2017, it's about 4.4%. So even though they could be white women, more women are unemployed just because of being women than white males. So in this presentation, we plan to talk about kind of how this came about, how black unemployment is still probably about double about what the white unemployment rate is. And then we're gonna explain this using a couple of skits and explain a couple of policies that we think would help with this unemployment rate to kind of make it a little more even between whites and blacks and even women. And then we are gonna explain how the US government has established a couple policies in the past to try and fix this and what they're continuing to do today. So our first skit is going to be between Alex Ruiz and Andre Wilson. They're going to be doing a little presentation about Andre's trying to get a job as a black male, and Alex Ruiz is going to be the head of HR, and he's probably going to deny the job to Andre just because he's black. So have fun with this.
Come in.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing?
Sorry about that. My name's Charles, head of HR.
Alex Wilson. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, standard interview. So just tell me about yourself.
Like I said, my name's Alex Wilson. I just graduated from Rockhurst University with a degree in business administration. I've never been fired from a job, and I've always been deemed accountable when called up.
It's good to know. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I can see myself fully integrated with the system, and yeah.
Okay. Why should we hire you?
I feel that I'm intelligent, and my Rockhurst degree supports this. And as I said above, I will be fully accountable.
Fully accountable.
For my actions.
Fully accountable. That's a lot to live up to, huh?
Yeah.
You do. Why do you want to work here? Have you ever, you said you've never been fired before, right?
No, I've not been fired.
You've not been fired?
I have not.
Okay.
I feel that myself personally, I'm qualified for the job, and I just think that I will enjoy it.
Think you will.
Yes.
Okay. What do you know about us as a corporation?
I understand that you guys have built up a prestigious corporation here, and honestly, I've heard that the pay is very suitable.
Very suitable.
Yeah.
How was the pay at your other job? Were you paid less than you thought, or
I thought I was paid less than I thought.
less than you thought, and that was just overall?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How do you think people would describe you?
First off, most people, especially my companions, they describe me as trustworthy and also very, very confident.
Would you say that's true concerning the general public or just friends?
I'd say close people. People that's close to me, they say that I'm a trustworthy guy. So,
All of them, you think they would?
yeah, I said like most of my close friends. Yes.
Right, you did say that. Now looking over your resume, looks like your studious is 54 400 Walnut Grove Road. I heard that's not the best part of town. Any police reports over there. Was it difficult growing up over there?
Oh, wow.
They're just a question we ask all of our interviewers. I'm sure you can understand.
Well, the area, it's not suitable for, for people that are, well, I would say it's in process.
It's in process.
Revitalization, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. As far as your education, I noticed you went to Pembroke High before you attended Rutgers University. Would you say that provided you a suitable pre-education to your college experience?
Oh, yes. I graduated there top of my class.
Really?
Yes. And I thought it was pretty suitable high school.
All right. All right. Last question. What would you say is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness?
I think I said earlier, my greatest strength is that I'm an accountable associate, which I would say is my greatest aspect. But my main weakness, I guess you could say I'm too ambitious.
How would you say you're too ambitious?
I guess I'm a go-getter.
Really?
I don't let things slip away. Yes.
Okay. I honestly don't know if this job is suitable for someone like you.
Oh, wow.
Please don't take offense to that. I don't mean it in any ethnical related way.
Wow.
I hope you don't take it as that kind of thing. I just don't feel, based on the questions I've asked you and the responses you've given, that this job would be suitable for, like I said, someone like you.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and I can't believe this. I truly feel like I'm being discriminated against.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel like that way. All right, well, thank you for your time.
There are two main policies that we came up with as a group that we believe could decrease black unemployment, or at least level out the rates among blacks and whites. The first policy we came up with is by affecting fiscal policy. This policy would be a cut to taxes in order to increase diversity in the workplace. With every African American hired, there would be a tax cut. This would give employers more incentive to hire workers of color because it is a good business decision. Although this would increase diversity and aid with the problem of a high black unemployment rate, there are still some potential downfalls. One downfall of this policy would be that there is a potential stigma held against those workers who were hired on the basis of an employer receiving a tax cut. The second policy that we believe could aid with this problem in unemployment is education and training in order to help reduce structural unemployment. Structural unemployment is when there are jobs available but the skills of potential workers do not match each other. By providing educational training, there is still potential to increase black employment by offering job training to get people into jobs they might not originally have had the skills for. It also potentially creates an opportunity for people who are overqualified for their job they currently hold to receive training in another field if they were unable to find a job that matches their skills because of a potential discriminatory bias in hiring. This will require the government to step in and make it appealing for companies and corporations to participate in these types of trainings. Fixing structural unemployment is very difficult, and our society has been shifting towards a more technology based system there are still potential areas in which the unemployed can be trained to work outside of a job that they might have previously done. This policy would provide less downfalls and be a more cost-effective way at reducing unemployment in the black community. Companies could be incentivized to work with the black unemployed in order to get them into jobs and careers that are profitable and satisfying to their personal goals.
Today, the black unemployment rate is at one of its lowest points since 2010. But, although the numbers say one thing, the reality for many black Americans is that they are unemployed and unable or unwilling to find work. Even today in 2018, there are still discriminatory policies and laws that prevent black Americans from being considered for employment. Did you know that in 2016, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against a lawsuit filed by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission against Catastrophe Management Solutions that refusing to hire someone because of their dreadlocks is legal? The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission alleged prohibition of dreadlocks in the workplace constitutes race discrimination because dreadlocks are a manner of wearing the hair that is culturally associated with people of African descent. The U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals stated, while federal law bans employment discrimination based on race, courts have interpreted race as skin color and as fixed traits. This is the definition that the courts used to decide this case. Many economists credit the actions of Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen, who oversaw the steady period of declining unemployment and kept interest rates suppressed, as the move that helped drive unemployment down further. Yellen was frequently criticized by Trump, who argued on the campaign trail that the unemployment rate was a phony number. Still, while black unemployment has certainly fallen, at 6.8%, the unemployment rate for black Americans still remains higher than that of both the overall population and any other racial group. This isn't a new trend, though. Historically, black unemployment rates have typically been much higher than that of any other group, and often double that of whites. Even as black unemployment rate trends downward, the gap remains proportionally the same. While the new black unemployment rate is a good thing, it shouldn't be taken as evidence that the African Americans are completely seceding in the job market. An unemployment rate of nearly 7% is nothing to be happy nor satisfied about. If this was reversed and the white male unemployment rate was 6.8%, no one would think that this was an accomplishment. It is not fair to set a very low standard of economic success for black workers and to be content when we reach them. Hopefully in the near future, there will be a leveling of the playing field for African Americans in the workforce. This is an issue that needs to be tackled on many fronts because the African American community has been marginalized for too long.